was busy.
Uh,
Okay, we're live.
Oh, we're like,
Yeah. I said we were gonna go live with or without you.
oh,
Alright. Hello. Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends. Welcome to another Sunday, another episode of Awful Goodness. I am your interim host, Condor Jez. With me, a man, a plan, a canal, Canales.
hola.
And as always, Mexicanly late as usual, Imega Arts.
hello there.
So, gentlemen, how are we today?
I was gonna say that Mexicans are never late. They just arrive precisely the moment they want to arrive, or some shit like that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that's a Tolkien reference. I'm a nerd.
no, I got it. I got the
Nerd!
Nerd. I don't know. I just like I
reference.
was quoting from memory because I don't know what the exact translation is in English. So I just remember the sentence, the quote in Spanish with a hasty translation.
Yeah, so how has your week's been?
Ladies first. Canales?
Yes.
That's a transphobic joke. I'm so offended. I'm I'm not a lady. I'm extremely manly. Yeah,
You're an
it was
extremely
fine.
manly woman.
I am extremely. I'm a lesbian trapped in a male body. Respect my authority.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one that used to be a joke. Like I remember making that joke all the time when I was in high school. Oh, I'm a lesbian trapped in a male body. And now it's a fucking thing. Like people are actually using that as a crutch or whatever. Fuck my life.
Yeah. One
My
of my
week was fine, thank you.
okay. After you know what? After the show, you just reminded me that I have to. Have you ever showed you Steven the lesbian?
Oh yeah, by was it any cartoons or no?
Harry
Yeah, it was Harry
Partridge.
Partridge. Yeah, it's pretty fucking good.
He's Steven. He's Steven. He's Steven the
Steven the
lesbian.
lesbian,
What?
Steven the lesbian. Yeah,
Okay.
it's one
Okay.
of those old classic YouTube videos. Like, did you see the American Akira?
No.
It's from the same animator. He made like a short film, like a short parody film of how he thought
No, he
the
didn't
American
make.
adaptation
I,
of Akira would be.
I he made American Akira. I thought he only made like the American version of Ed's World,
Oh, dude, American
and they
Akira is
made
better.
Tom Black. They made Tom a black guy in that one.
Speaking of black
No.
people, did you show him the video that we saw last week?
Oh no! What was it?
If
There's
it's got
something
black
about the
people in it,
Johnsons.
it's bound to be funny because black people are funny.
Yeah. So while you were gone and being a cranky old man going to sleep at a respectable time, in Mega Arts and I, we watched Love Is All You Need, which is like what if everyone was gay and being a heterosexual was disgusting.
So basically, 2022.
Mm, basically.
Why
and
why
then
am I even laughing?
and then we watched what was it, there's something with the Johnsons. And Megan, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Are the Johnsons that like black cartoon family that I remember from my teen years?
Not. I
Not
got it.
quite. Well, if you don't act like an old, if you want to act like a young whippersnapper like us, maybe you can stay behind after and we can subject you to that short.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
All right. Okay, Megan, did you have anything to, how was your week?
My week so far has been nice. As usual, like busy with my real life bullshit. I have to finish all the commissions that I have. But at least this weekend it was pretty nice because I had chicken wings and the Dallas Cowboys won the match against the Detroit Lions.
Okay. Chicken wings good. Detroit. I mean, Dallas Cowboys. Because the only true victors in football are the Green Bay Packers. Do not at me.
I mean, I like the Green Bay Packers, but they lost today. What the fuck?
Oof, man.
And
You
it was
speak
only
in riddles, Americans. I do not understand this thing that you are saying.
by 1 point, yes. So that was embarrassing.
Okay, that was yeah. All right. Let's get to the first story.
Okay.
So, our first story today has to do with our a beloved mentor. Alex Jones seeks a new trial after $1 billion Sandy Hook verdict. Ew, it's a saxophone lesbian. Go away. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has asked a Connecticut judge to throw out a nearly $1 billion verdict against him and order a new trial in a lawsuit by Sandy Hook families who say that they were subjected to harassment and threats from Jones' lies about the 2012 Newtown school shooting. Jones filed requests Friday, saying Judge Barbara Beltz's pretrial rulings resulted in unfair trial and substantial miscarriage of justice. If you heard like some banging outside, it's not gunshots, it's fireworks being shut off because they're carrying the Lord of Miracles through the streets. It's
Oh,
where
cool.
it's where people dress up in purple and they carry this supposedly magical painting of Jesus that was supposedly painted by a black guy in like the 1500s,
Okay. I guess
and then
that's
it
that.
like survived like an earthquake.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
that's why
I
it's
guess
called the Lord of
just the fact
Miracles.
that a black people is capable of art is already a miracle. So I don't know. Oh shit! Did I get us demonetized?
Nice one, Canals. I hope not.
I
uh,
was just
Uh,
joking. Okay, I know that black people are capable of art. It
we
was just a
love the
joke.
melanin. We love the melanin enriched folks of the world.
yeah,
By the gods, we do.
George Floyd was a hero and a saint.
The greatest black man to ever live.
Jacob Blake did
Indeed.
nothing wrong.
Anyways, Jones filed the request Friday, saying Judge Barbara Bell's pretrial rulings resulted in an unfair trial and a substantial miscarriage of justice. Additionally, the amount of the compensatory damages award exceeds any rational relationship to the evidence offered at trial. Jones' lawyers, Norm Pattis and Kevin Smith, not that Kevin Smith, wrote in the motion. Christopher Matte, a lawyer for the 15 plaintiffs of the lawsuit against Jones, declined to comment on the filing Saturday, but said he and other attorneys for the Sandy Hook families will be filing a brief opposing Jones' request. 21st graders and 6 educators at Sandy Hook Elementary School died in the attack on December 14th, 2020. An FBI agent who responded to the shooting and relatives of 8 children and adults killed in the massacre sued Jones for defamation and infliction of emotional distress over his pushing the bogus narrative that the shooting was a hoax staged by crisis actors to impose more gun control. 6 years in Waterbury, Connecticut, ordered Jones and his company, Free Speech Systems, on October 12th to pay $965 million in compensatory damages to the plaintiffs. And said punitive damages also should be awarded. Ballas has scheduled hearings for early next month, to determine the amount of the punitive damages. So, do you want to discuss a little bit or keep going?
Well, in summary,
Well,
this is bullshit.
go on. Yeah, no, it's all bullshit. Like, so some person. voices his opinion, which is illegal right in the US, as far as I know, and as a result, somebody harasses you, so that person has to pay you, why don't you sue the person who actually harassed and threatened you instead of the person who just voiced his opinion? This is this is bullshit. This is political prosecution.
Indeed, because they're basically making Alex Jones a scapegoat because I guess he's in the know, or he claims he's in the know about like all these things.
You
It's
know,
just yeah. Sorry,
you
go ahead.
know something? Yeah, this reminds me a lot to what happened to Larry Flint during his trial with Jerry Falwell.
Hmm.
Because for those who don't know, Larry Flint made a political cartoon in which Jerry Falwell, apparently making a parody of the Campari ad, told the people in an interview that his first time was with his mom. For those who don't know,
Okay.
and obviously Jerry Falwell State sued Larry Flint and the Hustler magazine, and in the end they had to solve this issue in the Supreme Court. But one of the arguments was that no one in their right mind will believe that Jerry Falwell had sex with his mom, because especially in the Hustler magazine, uh, everything was not made to be taken seriously. In a certain way, the same could apply to Alex Jones, because depending on what you might believe about Alex Jones, many of the stuff that he says on Infowars is not being taken seriously, at least in my opinion.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's all talk about the Bilderbergs and our loser people. They suck they suck the adrenochrome out of little kids' brains.
Yeah,
And those clockwork elves.
Long live Alex Jones. Free Alex Jones. He should be. This is America. I mean, well, that is America. Not any of our countries are America technically. But in America, you're supposed to be able to say whatever the fuck you want, no matter how outrageous, without fear of prosecution. And the fact that they're blaming Alex Jones for what other people did, that is a very dangerous precedent. Because
Indeed.
now, yeah, now anyone can say, hey, people are shooting up schools because of your video game. So you get punished for your video game or your comic book or your movie, whatever. That's a very,
That
very dangerous precedent.
actually that was the thing. There was like uh some crazy lawyer from like Florida who tried to get video games banned because they cause like um
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the guy. He was like proto Anita Sarkeesian. I don't remember the name now. He was Jack something.
yeah, I
mhm.
know.
Yeah.
And he's no longer a lawyer; he lost his license.
Well,
Oh,
there you go.
well
Fuck
good.
that.
Let's see. Any more? During the trial, victims' relatives said in often emotional testimony that they were threatened and harassed by people who believed the lies told on Jones' show.
Well, then
Strangers
sue
showed up.
those people.
Yeah, those are the people who should be sued, not the guy. Strangers showed up at the families' homes to record them and confronted them in public, and people hurled abusive comments on social medias. Relatives said that they received death and rape threats. The verdicts came after another jury in Texas in August ordered Jones and his company to pay nearly $50 million in damages to the parents of another slain Sandy Hook child. A third trial over the hoax claims involving two more Sandy Hook parents and is expected to be held near the end of the year in Texas. Jones, who has acknowledged in recent years that the shooting did occur, has blasted the lawsuits and trials on his Austin, Texas-based InfoWars shows, calling them unfair and a violation of his free speech rights.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now here's where it gets a bit sus. But he lost his right to present those defenses when the judges in Connecticut and Texas found him liable for damages by default without trials for what they called Jones' repeated failures to turn over some evidence, including financial documents and website analytics to the Sandy Hook lawyers. Which makes me bring up this. So I was Blair White. She did some interviews with Alex Jones, but lately she did a solo show where it was just herself and she was talking about this exact topic. And she said that Alex Jones couldn't provide the information because when he got nuked off of or the evidence, he got nuked off of YouTube and Twitter, everything was gone.
Mm.
So he couldn't like get it back
Now talking
to
about
show
talking about evidence,
that he was that to show that he probably that he was doing like an act or something.
but also didn't his lawyer pretty much backstab him,
Mm.
or you didn't hear that?
No, I did not.
No, I did not know about that myself.
That apparently one of his lawyers delivered, apparently by mistake, important evidence to the opposing team.
Oh,
Ooh.
so what you're saying is Alex Jones was apparently a victim of a conspiracy to fuck him over?
Well, the thing is that there are screenshots of how the lawyer of Alex Jones sends by email stuff to
Well,
the other
you,
lawyer, to the defense, to the attorney.
you better be careful because what you just said could cause you to have to pay $1 billion to said lawyer because if people call him a fucking asshole online, that's on you. You know?
No, I was making this point. Hey, hey, hero, nice to see you
Oh,
around.
hi, hero.
I would say, man.
He says Alex Jones was set up by that so-called ex-CIA agent. That same person became a superfan Trump supporter. Very sus.
Huh.
Moral of
Ah,
the story: don't trust someone who says he or she is an ex-CIA agent. They're probably still in the CIA.
yeah, you never stop being a glow. Okay, what I was meaning with all this is because Rackets mentioned this on his show the other day, and after the after the fine was set on around $1 billion, and what Rockets was saying is that if Jones and his new teams of lawyers were smart, they were actually sue the old team for malpractice
Hmm.
and let the other lawyer team deal with all the bullshit.
But
Oh, that makes sense.
unfortunately, not the case.
Well, let's wait and see. Maybe the previous team of lawyers will have to pay everything
Hmm.
because they were the ones who fuck up the entire case.
Uh, Remind me, did we on the last show? Did we do the Kanye being sued by um
The German show.
the widow of George Floyd?
Oh yeah. I heard about that. Did you guys comment on it?
Uh,
No, because
I
it was this week, isn't it?
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, maybe it was this week. Let me grab that quick since we're on the subject of outrageous lawsuits. Uh, Anyways, you want to hear my Sandy Hook thing?
All right.
Okay.
So when I got my autism diagnosis, my mom compared me to the Sandy Hook shooter.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Low blow.
Thanks, mom.
Yeah, George
Moms are
Floyd.
assholes.
Yeah, why your mom
Okay,
cannot be like my mom?
okay. Let's see. Who can we go to? Let's go to NPR.
Ew.
The family of George Floyd plans to file a 250 million lawsuit against Yee. Yee.
I think it's yay, right?
It's yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Kanye. It's probably yeah. No. The family of George Floyd announced Tuesday that they will file a $250 million lawsuit against Ye, the rapper formerly known as Kanye West, following comments he made about Floyd's death on the podcast Drink Champs. Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office ruled that George Floyd's death was a homicide caused by Derek Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck for over 8 minutes. But Yee, who was a guest on last week's episode on the podcast hosted by rapper Nore and DJ EFN, put forth the idea that it wasn't Chauvin who caused Floyd's death, but he died from fentanyl use. Which, well, it's technically correct.
Yep.
I mean, I think we all know that Derek Chauvin was sacrificed in the altar of "Please don't burn down my state," right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
Because
kind of be a little careful about this one, but that's
Okay.
technically correct.
Can
yeah,
we agree
because
on
we don't
something?
want another strike because God knows that.
Well,
Yes,
there is
because
Yeah.
something that we can agree on this. The
mhm.
I mean,
American
we all believe that George Floyd was a great guy and he didn't do
Yes,
nothing. He didn't
he
do
was the
nothing
greatest
at
man
all.
ever.
Yes,
We love George Floyd. You
we
know
love
what?
George.
Do you know if we can, we should do like a fundraiser to raise money to go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, to the place where George Floyd died and go to the shrine and bow down to him, for we are not worthy to be
Yes,
on the same in the same timeline as our Lord and Savior George Floyd.
I think that George Floyd should come back to life and become like the supreme leader of the US, a guide, if you will. Like they should call him the guide, and he should like establish a strong socialist order that was also pro the people of this country, and then he should like put all his detractors in cattle wagons and send them far away to, let's say, camps in which you work and in which you are like really concentrated. I
cotton
think
camp
that's what should happen.
in camps to produce cotton.
Yes, hail George Floyd, the greatest black man who ever lived.
More than Martin Luther King, more than Malcolm X, more
Or
than
even Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is our favorite black man because he's really smart and knows about spaceships and
yes,
stuff.
black science man, go away.
Yes,
George Floyd is the true black man.
Not even Morgan
Morgan
Freeman.
Freeman, be gone with you. I think we should bring George Floyd back to life and have him do all of reshoot all of Morgan Freeman's roles with the George Floyd.
yes, yes, and Denzel Washington's too. While you're at it,
Mm-hmm. Okay. The family seeks damages for defamation, harassment, and more. The lawsuit will be filed by Roxy Washington, the mother of Gianna Floyd, George Floyd's only daughter and the sole beneficiary of his estate. Washington plans to sue Ye, his business partners and associates for harassment, misappropriation, defamation, and infliction of emotional distress, seeking $250 million in damages, according to a statement from Washington's attorneys.
can you hear my fingers snapping?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, we have a sex bot.
Oh, again.
Sex robot,
Oh, come
sex
on,
robot,
sex bot.
sex robot, sex robot, sex robot, sex
Hot
robot.
girls here. Hot girls here. Hot girls
Excuse me.
here.
Where did you say? Where did you say that? Oh, I wanted to know where the what the hot girls were at.
Yeah.
Where
And
them girls
it's
at?
not a hot
Girls
girl
at?
with cockers in the chat.
Where the white women at?
Yo, where the white women at? Kanye's comments are a repugnant attempt to discount George Floyd's life and to profit from his inhumane death, said attorney Pat D. Dixon III. We will hold Mr. West accountable for his fragrant remarks against Mr. Floyd's legacy. I'm trying
He
to do
wrote
like
a
the
fucking
Johnny
book or
Cochran.
something.
I'm trying to do like the Johnny Cochran inflammatory black lawyer bit, and
Ah,
he's
the Chewbacca defense.
attorneys for the family have also issued a cease and desist letter to Ye for his comments. I think this is a woman. Free speech rights do not include harassment, lies, misrepresentation, and the misappropriation of George Floyd's legacy. Some words have consequences, and Mr. West will be made to understand that,
We will
said
hear the
Kay
truth.
Harper Williams, another one of Washington's attorneys. Yes, how dare they slander the George Floyd?
And his legacy, because he left us so much as a legacy for us.
Ye's First Amendment rights will be a factor in this case, expert says. On the matter of First Amendment rights, however, the family may have an uphill legal battle against Ye, says Roy S. Gutterman, the director of the Tully Center for Free Speech at Syracuse University. First off, there's no possibility of defamation action here because there would be no living plaintiff whose reputation has been damaged, Gutterman told NPR. Libel and slander require a live plaintiff, and family members or surviving family members do not have standing to sue for defamation. Actually, I was talking about that with you before, Canales, like how your haters claim that you're like part of that Christian cult.
Yep.
And I was
Them
like, couldn't you
crazy.
like sue them?
I mean, since I don't think there was any. This is the whole point. They are claiming that they got harassed and threatened and shit. So if I had gotten harassed and threatened, and I had evidence of that, I could sue those guys, saying that I apparently, even though I think that's bullshit, because I should be suing the person committing the crime, not the person like voicing his opinion or whatever. But whatever. But since apparently I got no harm done to my persona or person or body or how the fuck you say that in English, apparently I have no grounds to sue. And also, those guys don't have a piece to pot in, a pot to piece in. So why would I want to sue them for like $1 billion? That would be like a huge waste of time.
We have Coke in the chat, and he says he wants to hear the Rumble version of this show.
Oh yes,
Well, the thing is that you need like 100 subscribers to or like 100 viewers to stream on Rumble.
But we cannot make videos.
I think
Well, I guess-
well, it's Midnight who has all the videos or most of the videos.
No. But for example, we cannot make these kind of umbrella takes on Grumble.
We
Huh.
we could make a video, but it had to be like pre-recorded because, as I said, we can't stream unless we
Well,
have like
why
100 people.
why don't we upload videos to Rumble and maybe that will bring us subscribers? And once we have enough subscribers, we'll stream.
Yep. Exactly.
How
Well,
about that? Fuck,
well,
I might do that myself with my Spanish spoken videos. What the fuck
don't
not?
forget to put English videos too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna talk. I think Midnight is making a Rumble.
Smart decision.
I don't know. I still have to talk to him about it. Let's see. Let's see. Would it be? Should I finish this off? One possible path for this lawsuit, though, would be the allegation of intentional infliction of emotional distress. Gutterman said, although it will be difficult to claim. This requires the plaintiff to prove that the statements were intentional or reckless, outside the bounds of accepted decency and morality, and causally connected to some viable harm. He said, "This tort is
For we
roughly
all know that George was a highly moral person.
Mm-hmm.
that never did do nothing bad to anyone.
Right. You know what?
Okay?
The only reason why he pointed that gun at that pregnant woman's belly is because he knew that that baby was going to be like the next Hitler.
Yes, and he totally supports a woman's right to choose, and he will assist that woman in getting an abortion, however he sees fit, even if it includes a 9 millimeter pistol to the uterus. How's that? Hail George, the greatest black man to ever live.
Indeed. This tort is often a difficult claim to collect on, especially with the media defendant. However, proving this claim is not impossible. Notably, Sandy Hook families successfully sued Alex Jones on the secondary tort in a recent civil trial in Connecticut, just what we talked about. But we also have like another. I totally forgot about this one. So who's familiar with the H3H3?
I am familiar with H3H3, and I think Ethan Klein
Oh yeah,
is a happy man. Is a happy man with lots to offer to the world.
a happy Jewish man with
He's a
happy
Cupid,
opinion.
yes. He's a happy Hebrew man,
Mm-hmm.
full of tolerance and smart ideas, and
Yes.
we all should listen to him.
Yeah, shalom.
Case
Mm-hmm.
in point,
Right.
Allah Shalom. Ein Keloheinu.
Mm-hmm. Straight from the Times of Israel, prominent YouTube personality suspended for Holocaust joke about Ben Shapiro. Ethan Klein barred from video sharing platform for a week after saying that if there's another genocide of Jews, uh-oh. Crap. I hope I didn't mean to say that word. I meant to say
We love Jews. Okay,
we
we
love
love Hebrew
Jews.
people.
Ethan Klein. Well, Ethan Klein said it. Ethan Klein said it, Susan. So don't strike us. We're just reading, okay?
It was Ethan, not us. We love Jews. We love Jews so much that we hate Hitler more than we could possibly hate Stalin, even though Stalin killed much more people and was also an anti-Semite.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. How if there's another vanishing of Jews, he hopes that the conservative pundit gets gassed first or last. Which oddly brings upon the, was it one of the rules from Animal Farm?
All
You know.
animals are equal, but more some are more equal than others.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm. There's a similar saying here in Spain about the IRS. We are all IRS, but some more than others.
Popular Jewish YouTube personality Ethan Klein was suspended from the platform for a week after he made
Massive Minecraft joke
a
about Ben
massive
Shapiro.
Minecraft joke. Yeah, that'll work. About prominent right-wing Jewish pundit Ben Shapiro, escalating a war of words between two large internet political factions over what constitutes anti-Semitic statements between Jews. Oh my God! They just realized, just like how I know that you can be trans and be transphobic.
Oh, or
Or you
better
can be
yet,
black
oi,
and be racist.
oi,
Oy vey, shut it down!
oi.
Oh God. Oh God, this paragraph. Klein, whose YouTube channel H3H3 Productions has more than 6 million subscribers. Yeah!
But was it really 6 million? 6 million subscribers? I think that cipher that number might have been inflated by
no,
propaganda.
no,
Did the
no, Canales,
subscription really happen?
do not doubt the 7 million subscribers of Ethan Klein. You
Am
better
I not
apologize
allowed?
to
Am
all
I
8
not
million
allowed to
subscribers
deny?
of Ethan Klein right now.
Am I not
Okay,
allowed to deny the subscription?
there's a point worth mentioning here. Let's remember that Ethan Klein has kind of like a diaper fetish because there are pictures of him wearing diapers. So don't be surprised if many of those subscribers are into that fetish.
Mm-hmm.
That explains.
Mm-hmm. That's highly likely too.
Okay. Said Monday that on his the H3 podcast that if there's another Holocaust and people start rounding up, if there's another mega Minecraft and people start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets gassed first or last. He added, I'm getting gassed too. Do you think it would be more justice if he got first or last? Klein was discussing Shapiro's initial reaction to rapper Kanye West's recent comments vowing to go DEFCON 3 on The Chosen People. Shapiro said uh, the West comments were clearly hold on. What are I need to get my Ben Shapiro voice. It takes clearly anti-Semitic and disturbing. But he simultaneously celebrated West's moves toward pro-life, faith, and family conservatism. On the podcast, which reportedly has nearly 3 million subscribers and also uploaded to his YouTube channel, Klein pointed to Shapiro's platforming of conservative pundit Candace Owens, who once remarked that if if the greatest Minecraft uh, player just wanted to make Minecraft land great again, great and have things run well, okay, fine. Owens also recently collaborated with West on his controversial White Lives Matter line of shirts shortly before the rapper's initial anti-Semitic
Which,
comments.
by the way, it's completely outrageous, Susan, because we all know that white lives don't matter. I mean, why would anyone say that I matter just because I'm white? Come on now,
Mm-hmm.
come on.
Shapiro is an Orthodox Jew and former editor of right-wing news site Breitbart and the Daily Wire, who endorsed the Orange Man for president in 2020. He frequently invokes Israel and Judaism in his articles, books, and videos while decrying Democrats and woke culture, and recently visited Israel on a speaking tour. Shapiro has more than 5 million subscribers on his YouTube channel and 4.5 million Twitter followers. Since Shapiro's first tweet about West's comments, the rapper has said he was being targeted by a kind people underground media mafia, while also apologizing to the people that I hurt. Shapiro has also more forcefully denounced West's comments, saying on Wednesday that the rapper was sprouting Der Stürmer type anti Semitism, and that is about as ugly as it gets, and nobody should be defending that.
Look, I'm just
In the
saying,
mean,
okay? I'm just saying that you
Mhm.
should never mess with Jews because Jews are awesome, okay? See what I mean?
Yep,
It's right in there in the name.
Jews are awesome. They deserve Israel. Yep. In the meantime, Klein's own comments about Shapiro were amplified on social media by conservative figures, leading to Shapiro to respond on Twitter. If there was another Minecraft event, I would hope that Ethan and his family escaped. But maybe that's just me. Klein then responded, sure, in poor taste, but not as poor taste as your platforming anti Semites who spread dangerous conspiracy that leads to real violence against the Jews. Klein
Man,
was just
I wish I was Jewish, just for a few hours, just so I could talk like that. I'm like, wait, are you saying that I may not be awesome? That's really dangerous. You're spreading dangerous conspiracy theories. Please plunge this man into utter poverty and disgrace. Say that I'm awesome, you bitch.
Klein was suspended from YouTube shortly after and claimed on social media that a few white supremacists have reported him for going after Shapiro, who he said was happy to perform a purity test on me and declare me a bad Jew for criticizing Israel. Let's see. On Twitter, Shapiro had dug up comments Klein had made last year following the outbreak of war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza, in which he wrote, the Israeli government is making me sick, and I wish the settling and repossession of Palestinian land would stop. Let's see. And then last one.
Coca has a good question. Who doesn't love Jews?
Okay.
Orange juice. You know, if I ever were to like open a juice place to like drink juice, I would call it gas day.
Uh nice.
Yes. Yeah, it's
I
a Serbian word that means I love juice.
hmm
Gas day.
interesting.
Hmm.
Also, I love like maracuya juice, apple juice, and grape juice.
Don't you love
Uh,
gas day?
I don't know.
Should I
Let's
say?
see. Let's see a link to the video. Where was I? Shapiro himself later criticized Klein's suspension, tweeting, "I don't believe Ethan Klein should be suspended from YouTube for his awful garbage, but I'll shed no tears for a person who is routinely engaged in cancellation of others." A link to the video in which Klein made his comments was removed from the platform as of Friday, with a note saying it has been removed for violating YouTube's policy on harassment and bullying. The audio was still available on various podcast channels. I will drop it there.
Just imagine. Let's go back in time, like maybe just 100 years ago, like 150 years, when the Basques were like traveling to the U.S. to seek life as ranchers, into the whole cattle thing, and they got actually very big in some states. They got very powerful. Like you could argue that they actually ran the whole industry for a while. So imagine if somebody said, dude, I've had it with these Basque guys. They fucking run the industry. They won't let anyone in. They only hire other Basques. And I was like, dude, shut up. What you're saying is dangerous. I'm gonna put you in, I don't know, in the equivalent of jail. I'm gonna leave you unemployed. Or should I just say, well, you're kind of right, because that's a fact. Like Basques for a while used to run the whole ranching thing. So, and probably hired other Basques because oh, you're from Bilbao to you're from Gasteiz to, okay, oh yeah, sure, my aunt is from Gasteiz, sure, I'll give you a job. And I'm pretty sure that other people that may have been more qualified or whatever, that got pissed over it. What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say that those guys who had a problem with Basque hiring practices were dangerous?
Yeah,
I guess so. I guess, I don't know. Maybe they were planning like a Basque mass deletion because they had a problem with their hiring practices. Fucking,
Okay, let's
I love
move on.
juice. I love juice.
We love the juice here almost as much as we love George Floyd. Right.
All right, moving on.
Moving on, moving on, moving on. Who loves Doctor Who?
I kind of liked Doctor Who a while ago. Oh, the regeneration of
careful
time.
with the copyright.
Aw. You
Just
know what?
sec-
What?
just show the last seconds.
All right. We'll start about
Oh,
here.
this is me when I have the Mexican dinner. My face
But
went.
yes,
I die in Mexican.
the female. I'm finally properly represented. Yay!
Yay.
We watched a female turn into a male.
Cool. I'm also finally represented as somebody who's desperately telling people to please check his stuff because nobody's checking it anymore.
See, I am so represented because now we have a female doctor changing back. We have a female doctor changing into a man, repping my female to male transgenders out there.
Congratulations, yes. You finally can aspire to be an interplanetary being who travels to time, like everybody should be at
I
some
know,
point.
I'm so excited, but
What?
womp womp. Doctor Who, David Tennant makes shock return as the Time Lord after Jodie Whittaker bows out of the role before the new teaser trail. Go away. reveals Nakuti Gatwa
I think
will
it's
make his
Shuti or
debut.
something like Shutigawa. I don't
Shuti
know.
Nishiti Gatwa
Shuti Gatwa. Yeah.
will make his debut in 2023. But yeah, there's the lady.
Whom
And
nobody
then
seemed to like for some reason because she's awesome too. She's the greatest doctor ever.
and then they and then she changes into David Tennant, aka the 10th Doctor, my favorite Doctor.
Everybody's
But
favorite, to be honest.
wait a minute. Hold up. I shouldn't be too disappointed because ladies and gentlemen, viewers of awful goodness, we are witnessing the first female to male transgender and transracial doctor.
So stunning and brave.
Yes.
So stunning. Do you think
How
he will also be responsible for 51% of like illegal time travel in the Doctor Who universe?
who knows? Who knows? But my gosh, this is peak current year. A white blonde-haired woman turning into a black man. Peak 2022. Peak current year. You cannot get woker than that.
I'm so woke that I don't think I will ever fall asleep again.
Yeah.
My eyes feel like sandpaper. That's how woke I am.
That's let's see. They say that
They say that the
it
BBC
was
is desperate for clicks and views. Is that what they say? That's what it feels like.
Yep. David Tennant returned to the lead role in Doctor Who on Sunday as Jodie Whittaker, whatever, bowed out of 5 years as Time Lord. Apparently there was an episode, and then Time Lord regenerated back into the best Doctor. Let's see. Clearly perplexed as he returned to his former body. He is returning for 3 special episodes set to air November 2023 after bowing out from the role in 2010. The feature-length 60th celebration of the sci-fi series will also star Catherine Tate. Before Sex Education start, Nakuti Gatwa takes control of the TARDIS. Let's see. Saturday, blah blah. They're talking about the I've lost the plot to Doctor Who over the years. I think the last one I watched was the episodes with Peter Capaldi.
I think the last, yeah, I stopped watching Doctor Who after Tennant morphed into Frankenstein. What's his name?
Matt Smith.
Yeah, Matt Smith.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Matt
I
Smith.
call him Frankenstein. I know he's a pretty good actor, and
Yeah,
I
he looks like Frankenstein.
just looks like fucking Frankenstein. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I love Matt
They're
Smith. Okay,
kidnapped by the
Susan.
robotic wrongins who can also regenerate.
Hmm.
So there's Time Lord Cybermen now. I guess.
Okay.
And of course the girl they find is yes. And I guess it also has Rasputin.
Also an awesome mom who brought forth the greatest revolution in human history.
No. Oh, what? Wait a minute. I remember when the master was a woman named Missy. Now she's a dude again?
Yep.
Isn't that transphobic or something, or like really sexist or racist or something? I'm sure it is.
So basically the master detransitioned.
If you look into
I
the abyss long enough, you will find something to be offended about.
I yeah, then he and then he turns into the scream painting. Yeah, she's in a modded Dalek outfit. Yeah, I completely lost the plot, man. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think the last thing I seem to recall was the Battle of Canary Wharf. You guys remember that? The Battle of Canary Wharf?
Yeah, the Cybermen versus the Daleks.
Yeah. Basically, a
Yeah.
shit ton of like flying Daleks against Time Lords, and I remember that because I'm into giant robots and cyborgs and shit. So that was pretty cool.
Yep. All right. Which one should we do next? Since we're in jolly old England, should we do Liz Truss or Pat Mills?
What do you guys prefer? The old British comic book writer, or the chick who said I will never quit, and then she quit.
Oh, I go for a chick.
All right.
Huh?
We hear an awful goodness as a quality, so ladies first.
Yep.
From the Washington Post with their democracy dies in darkness.
In darkness, more like,
Yeah.
because y'all dogs and
They
schmucks.
yell dorks. Okay. After just a month and a half as prime minister, the majority of which spent clinging on for her political life, Liz Truss announced Thursday that she is resigning. Now she is set to become the shortest serving occupant of Downing Street in 300 years of British history.
Well, that's a glass ceiling she broke.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Can't unbreak that glass ceiling unless someone does shorter. Somebody's like, "Oh, hold my tea, Chauncey. I'm going to out
And then he
resign
gets just
Liz
eaten by a
Truss."
kangaroo. Fucking kangaroo eats him.
Hold my tea, Chauncey. I shall show this woman how a proper British man resigns.
What the fuck? We have another sex bot in the chat. What is going on?
The fuck? What? Free girls in your city?
Free
What? No way.
I am not a bot at
No
all.
no the fuck way. No way.
Hey,
The fuck?
well,
What have you guys clicked? What have you been clicking on? Jesus.
I
uh,
haven't been clicking on jack
no.
shit, dude.
I
I
mostly
demand an
see gameplays.
explanation.
I mostly see gameplays, anime videos. One snooze lady from here and there. That's it.
Dude, what the fuck? Is it because I made
Yeah.
fun of the Daleks?
Oh, you're getting hit on by those Dalek whores.
Yeah, it's gotta be the fucking algorithm. I mentioned like I'm into robots.
Fornicate.
Fornicate, penetrate.
I never saw a drawing of a Dalek with a dildo instead of the sucking stuff.
Actually,
Yeah.
old Daleks look like tiny dildos, like chubby dildos going around.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ejaculate.
A disastrous a disastrous series of self-inflicted wounds, which turned into a political death spiral, began with a misfired attempt by the Conservative Party leader to radically reorientate the government's economic agenda by slashing taxes without saying how the decision would be paid for. It sent the markets reeling, and trust never recovered. Oof.
Oh man.
Never fuck with money. By the end, Truss had grown so unpopular that her fellow party lawmakers were publicly contemplating plans to replace her. Let us walk you through what happened. Why was Truss so unpopular?
Well, first of all, because of her name, Truss. Really?
Mm-hmm. And the fact that she started as like some type as a lib dem and then she became
Oh,
conservative. By the end of her tenure, according to a YouGov poll, Truss's net favorability stood at minus 70%. Whoa.
damn. That's that's even lower than Uncle Joe, and that's saying something.
Yeah, it's true.
If that figure had continued its downward slide, she would have been on track to overtake Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has a net favorability rating of minus 84% among members of the British public.
Keep breaking that glass ceiling, lass. Keep breaking it.
Yeah.
Women can do anything.
Truss became prime minister on September 6th after being elected by members of the Conservative Party to replace Boris Johnson as their leader. Her first 2 weeks, including the death of Queen Elizabeth II, and were politically muted while the country entered a period of mourning. But on September 23rd, her finance minister, Kwasi Kwarteng,
Is this a fucking joke?
made a
Kwasi
made a
Kwarteng,
fatal
the prime
misstep.
minister of List. What the fuck is
Without
going on?
any warning, he unveiled a significant shift in the country's economic strategy, promising to slash taxes for the highest earners and biggest corporations, with no plans to pay for it. Oof. Almost immediately, the British pound's valuation tanked. The United Kingdom's central bank was forced to hike interest rates at the cost of taking out mortgages soared. Inflation, already at record highs, raised the cost of living further, shredding the Conservative Party's reputation for fiscal responsibility. Some working class voters who were drawn to Conservatives by their embrace of Brexit were turned off by a renewed sense that the party represented only the interests of financial elites. Truss made so few public appearances in the ensuing days that one of her ministers, standing in for her during a parliamentary grilling,
Was it Kwasi
told
Kwarteng? I just
who
wanna know.
knows told lawmakers that the prime minister was not under a desk hiding. A reassurance that succeeded solely in prompting people to picture her doing just that.
Am I the only one who has the distinct feeling that they're just making up news as they go? They're just like making up names. And then the spokesperson Slushy Slushington said, "What? That's not a real name." Yes, it is. That's actually a real name. Yeah, I would know. Is that Kwasi? Yes, you muted yourself. I'm sorry. Okay, please talk to me.
Those names sound like cheap fan fiction.
It's like, yeah, I used to believe that, like, back in the day, American politicians like adopted like fake names because they thought they sounded cooler. Like, what was it? Rick Santorum. That's not a real name. Nobody's named Rick Santorum for real. This is the same like Kwasi Kwarteng, Liz Truss. Those are fucking comic book characters.
Who's this? Who? There's. Who are
Oh
you?
shit!
What
What
the
up, nigga?
yo? What's up, man?
I'm seeing a living corpse.
It's been quite a fucking summer.
Yeah.
So it's been. How you been, man?
You know, it's been
Yeah.
pretty rough, but I'm here. How we doing?
Well, we're making fun of
We're,
like
we're talking about Liz Truss.
we were actually making fun of the weird names that British politicians have. They want me to believe that there's actually a person named Kwasi Kwarteng in British government, and I refuse. Nobody's called Kwasi Kwarteng. That's not a name.
Well, here's the picture of Kwasi Kwarteng. You notice anything? You notice
That's-
anything
I
about
mean, that's a
him?
Kenyan. That's absolutely a Kenyan.
A Kenyan.
I was
Does he
gonna
drink
say
power first so he can be deported back to Kenya?
I was gonna say that's a crisis actor, but I don't want us to go the Alex Jones way. That's definitely not a crisis actor. Please don't sue
What's
us for like $1 bazillion trillion.
Sorry, did it? My little plug-in for my mic keeps slipping out. And it's...
Yeah, you sound like muffled. There's something going on there.
All right, can you hear me now? Test, test, test.
Yeah, you
Yes.
sound way better.
All right. In case you didn't hear that, I was like, does he drink power thirst so he can get deported back to Kenya?
Are her biceps made of biceps?
No, a
That's-
jet fighter made out of biceps.
Biceps. Yeah, that's an internet poop joke. If you guys haven't watched that video, it's just us being stupid. Pay no
What
attention.
if everything you ever wanted came in a rocket can? Power thirst, rocket edition.
Oh.
All right, continuing.
Yes. Let us continue.
All right, class. How many officials were fired or quit under Truss?
I don't know, a couple hundred.
Was Kwasi Kwarteng among them?
Including 50% of her most senior ministers in a single week. First went Kwarteng, the architect of Truss's vision for economic growth and longtime political ally. Truss fired him Friday and replaced him with Jeremy Hunt.
Okay,
Britain's
that's a.
fourth-
I can't believe that's a name. Oh shit! Well, I think we actually scared Midnight away with our stupidity.
oh.
He was like,
Britain's
shit,
fourth
not
finance
YouTube.
minister
jokes.
in many months, with markets whirling in the wake of Kwarteng's disastrous mini budget. The decision did not come as a surprise for a prime minister searching for ways to stem the bleeding of her political authority. Welcome back.
I'm cleaning up our chat.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Damn,
got some
here
work
they
to do.
come. You gotta block them entirely.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
that's on me. I just said that I like Daleks and the
Another
algorithm. Like,
retarded.
because I'm into bots or something. I don't know. It's probably my fault.
Why are you blocking them for 5 minutes? I blocked them like forever.
Yeah, who's blocking them for 5 minutes?
I'm just seeing what is available for me to do.
Well,
I wasn't able to block them permanently, so I put them in timeout.
okay.
I'll block them permanently eventually.
All right, I'll get on that as soon as I'm done here.
So I don't have. Hang on a second. I don't have any barometer for the Liz Truss situation. Who is Liz Truss?
The most recent prime minister until now of
Yeah,
England.
she took over when after Boris Johnson abdicated.
Okay.
He was
step
like,
down.
"Them's the breaks."
And is she being replaced? Are they having an election?
She's just stepping down
Eventually.
herself after 6 months, 6 weeks as a prime minister. She's just stepping down.
Isn't Tom York being a little bitch about this?
Is that
I
the
wouldn't
relief?
know. I don't follow Tom York or any of the Radiohead.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the singer for Radiohead. I saw a headline where he was being a little bitch about it. So if someone in show business is being a bitch about someone, I'm inclined to think they might be worth listening to.
That's a good measure.
Then when Home Secretary Suella Braverman, who quit
Can
Wednesday,
we fucking go again? Nobody's named Suella Braverman. That's not a name. That's a fucking comic book character. What the fuck is going on here?
is this are we stuck in the mind of Matt Berry? Because this sounds like something I might hear from Toast of London.
Suki Housebot. Sal Commotion.
Hoop Cock with 3 A's. Let's see. This resignation was unexpected. Ostensibly, it was over a technical breach of the ministerial code after Braverman sent secret documents from her personal email. Sort of like someone stateside. Hillary.
She does have a Hillary Clinton thing going on.
But in a blistering resignation letter, Braverman made clear that she was unhappy with the direction of Truss's government. If losing two ministers in Britain's four great offices of state in less than a week it wasn't enough drama, British outlets reported Wednesday that Truss's top aide, Jason Stein, better check that early life tab in Wikipedia, had been suspended after anonymously criticizing fellow conservative lawmakers to reporters. Truss's press secretary refused to comment on staffing matters Wednesday, but said the prime minister believes certain media briefings about parliamentary colleagues has been completely unacceptable. Yeah. I think we'll stop it there. 'Cause then it
Yeah,
just
we're just applauding Liz because she broke several glass ceilings. Like she's been the prime minister with the shortest rule, shortest time in service.
Mhm.
She tanked the pound lower than ever before. So hail Liz Truss. She's probably the greatest woman who ever lived. I don't know.
see, I believe this is the most diverse show ever because we're praising the blacks, we're praising the Jews, we're even praising women.
This
Look at
is
us go.
this,
We're
this
so
is awesome.
progressive.
Whereas we're like our 10,000 subscribers. We want them now.
Yes. We want 5 Gorillion subscribers. All right. Should we touch upon the Pat Mills thing?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Pat Mills thing is.
Well, we're getting right into it. But since it's on a one of those websites, I have to use my condescending voice. Pat Mills faces backlash over AI art and NFTs.
That's funny.
Canales,
I,
could
I
you?
I just spent 45 minutes generating AI art.
Oh,
I've been too.
you gotta show me that.
Actually, the thumbnail for today's show was made in Stable Diffusion.
Take a look at it.
So, Mr. Canales, can you enlighten us all who this Pat Mills is? This
Gladly. But
gentleman.
Pat Mills is considered the grandfather, or actually the godfather of British comics. He co-created Judge Dredd. Yeah, created Slain. I'm sure, at the very least, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Judge Dredd.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's probably the most famous British comic book character, and he's been writing like a shitload of amazing stuff. My favorite being Martial Law in the late '80s with the great Kevin O'Neill on art duties, and he's famous for like anti-war, anti-authoritarian themes on his writing. Like he's really brainy, like he's Alan Moore levels of brainy, but he's vastly more entertaining, and he's always like everything he writes is a great dry sarcastic sense of humor, so that's why he's probably one of my favorite comic book writers, if not my favorite comic book writer ever.
Judge Dredd is great at being a criticism of violence, but at the same time, a recognition that sometimes violence is the answer.
Well, do you know the actual origin of the character, like what was he based on?
It feels like a trick question.
No, I'm just asking because this is actually a deep lore.
Go ahead. I don't know that I know what you're about to say.
No, I'm just saying because maybe you know the story, so I didn't want to. Anyway, the other co-creator, who's John Wagner. John Wagner was an American immigrant in Scotland where he found work as a writer, and he based Judge Dredd on his father, who was apparently an extremely conservative right-wing man, but he was also, in the words of John Wagner, an extremely like dependable, loyal, and principled man. So he had that duality that he was fascinated with. Like he was a really hard as conservative guy, but you could depend on him. So that's how Dredd is portrayed. Like he's like really tough and merciless. He's almost like a machine, but he's also like extremely principled and he's incorruptible. So those are like his, you know, the things that make him not be a complete villain.
All right, let me put on my smug comic voice. So come on, who saw this one coming? A while ago, comics legend Pat Mills, Nemesis, Demon Knight, Judge Dredd, Charlie's War, and many more broke the news that his 2000 AD history memoir was getting a re-release and a new chapter to cash in on, celebrate 2000 AD's 45th anniversary. So far, so good, and I'm going to say if you haven't read the book, you should do so, as it's excellent. Anyway, Pat also announced that he would be getting 45 copies of the book, minted as an NFT, a kind of personal digital copy that you could keep in your own digital wallet that's for you and you alone. In addition, each of the 45 people will get a unique piece of AI generated art with the package, and both the book and the art, as a book plate, will be sent physically to the purchaser. So, for your 120 pounds, you get a physical updated book, and inside there will be a book plate of the AI art that you now co own. Millsverse retains parts of ownership, so if you ever resell it, you pay them an unspecified percentage. And it'll all be signed by Mills. Oh, and there's also an Ask Pat Anything session included, though the format of this is unclear from what I could find, as are details on who exactly made the AI art.
You can
So
tell these
where's the
motherfuckers get
problem?
paid by the war, don't you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm going to gloss over one potential problem, which is the alleged huge amount of energy used by blockchains and NFTs, because it's a big issue I simply don't understand enough about. Suffice to say, this is something Mills has done, and he claims to have done it in the best way possible, and many people really despise the idea. Naturally, Mills said they need to do more research, which is exactly what my mate, who believes in a flat earth, told me. Ha ha ha! What a chud!
Eat shit and die in hell. Sorry, I meant consume feces and Minecraft yourself in Gehenna.
Over the past few days, Mills has taken a huge amount of flack from fans, not just haters who pile on regardless of what he does, about not just the NFT thing, but the fact he's using AI generated art and proffering it as some sort of good thing. The images in questions are very good, obviously done with one of the better systems out there, and they're all tied into a Mills creation, such as Selene, Defoe, and the like. The thing is, almost anyone could do similar stuff given a half hour on the same platform. One of the very real concerns is the way AI art basically steals from existing styles, the amount from each depending on where exactly you enter in. It's even being used to recreate dead artist styles, with zero going to the artist's beneficiaries, in a bizarre take on the legendary Kenny Who 2000 AD stories. It's all unique, of course, but then again, every AI generation is unique and empty of heart. So let's see what the people have been saying online. I won't be mentioning names to reduce the chance of backlash, but every comment here has been made on Twitter or Facebook in the last 3 days. A 2008 creator commented,
All those artists who would have jumped at illustrating a Mills character could have been given some small income. It's some soulless AI stuff instead.
another 2000 AD creator was equally dismissive, saying,
It'll be a dream come true for him. No artist to share credit, copyright, or money with.
the first creator summed up his disdain with,
A writer that has supposedly been so hot on creators' rights and the way artists should be credited is suddenly employing a device which effectively data mines strips other artists' works. It reeks of hypocrisy.
a further former creator simply called it a
Stupidity tax.
Any comments before I continue?
So here's the thing about AI generated art. It's like I explained it recently. I said an AI can repeat the joke, but it can't write the joke. And
Which is
what
something that describes most of these motherfuckers anyway.
well, they kind of think like AI if you think about it. Like they can go with parameters, but they can't originate.
Hence the name NPC.
Oh shit!
The-
Now you got me thinking about a plot point in the Michael Crichton book Prey.
I've never read it. What's the plot point?
It's about nanobots, and eventually the nanobots create like a replica of one of the creators.
And then that becomes competitive with the creator.
Rather disappointing, but not that surprising.
Oh, okay.
And when I thought that nothing is more useless than NFT, here comes AI generated artwork. I feel old and sound like my father, but guys, seriously? Oh, that'd be something more like Canales would say.
I am old. But actually, I have nothing against AI generated art except the fact that, well, it's not that it's soulless. It is soulless, but what it does. Yeah, I was just gonna say it doesn't bother me as much as the fact that every like most living artists nowadays feel as soulless as AI. Like you wouldn't have to be afraid of AI if you were better than AI, which you are not.
Getting what you want from the AI art generators is like a reverse guessing game.
Yeah.
Like it's going to guess relative to the information that you give it. So you have to guess what it's going to guess at. The people that are using like that think that they're going to get some sort of like you're not going to get a readable procedurally generated comic out of AI art. It's going to lack all warmth that makes art consumable. But like what I'm working on with it is I'm ironically creating procedures with it, but I'm going to be altering that art. There's more going on with it that I'm going to be like animating it and making it do stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. I have nothing against that actually. Like, and I'm an artist. Like, I guess I should feel threatened by the idea that someday AIs are gonna take over my job and leave me unemployed. But as I said, I try to keep that from happening by being more creative and more original than AI, and trying not to be like a replicator of stuff that I see online, which is what AIs do. So,
well,
not be that.
Here's what it is, and I know not everybody thinks like me, but there are other people that do. I would much rather have a human artist doing the art that I want, but I can't afford it, and there's no money coming in. There's no money coming in off my product that will justify that spend. However, what the AI art can potentially do is provide me with content that I can use to build to a point where I can afford to hire that human artist.
That's a good point, because maybe you want your texts and your writings to be available, like, to be striking and to reach people, but you need an artist to do that, and you can afford it. You can't afford it, so you just resort to AI, which makes things more affordable to you. So what this thing is doing is actually helping people be more creative.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. People complaining about Pat Mills not paying other artists. Well, why are you so worried that one guy isn't paying you? What do you not get paid enough by other people? Like,
And
do you
the
have
other
to
thing that's
scrap every
interesting
opportunity
is,
you get?
like, as I generate the art that I'm working with, I sort of see things where I'm like, well, I can actually do this. I don't need the AI procedurally generated art. I can actually put this together myself like this. So I'm
Well,
sort of
why don't you try to do the same thing that the creator of One Punch Man?
what's that?
You know One Punch Man.
I know One Punch Man, but I don't think I've ever watched a whole episode. I don't think I have.
Okay, but do you know the story of how it became a manga?
A Japanese guy got told, "Hey, draw me some Punchy Punch," and so the Japanese guy made a story with Punchy Punch.
Not exactly. Okay, the creator of One Punch Man started as a webcomic. And as far as I know, they still publish the story in that website. The guy who created One Punch Man doesn't know how to draw. He draws like shit. But he created the story, and the story was quite engaging. So this manga artist, Yusuke Murata, used to read the webcomic. And he approached him, and they pitched the idea to Shonen Jump. And Shonen Jump liked the idea. So they came to a deal. The guy will write, and Yusuke Murata will draw it. And the rest is history.
That's pretty much, I think, an opportunity that opens up if you use AI generated art creatively, in your property. I think that it's a good resource to build your property, because writers, like, writing isn't enough to get the eyes. You need the eyes. So the resource that AI generated art offers makes it possible for certain IPs to be developed to a point to where they can get good artists. And a computer will never be the artist that a human being will be. Never. It's never going to happen.
You need a soul for that, and nobody knows
It'll-
how to replicate a soul.
It'll fool stupid people, but people with over a certain, ability to understand people will absolutely know the difference. They'll know something's missing.
For example, the eyes. Like AIs don't know
Yeah.
how to make eyes. If
And
you're
hands.
looking into someone, yeah, especially eyes. Like, okay, hands are complicated to make, but even the crappiest artist knows how to instinctively create, like, at least moderately expressive eyes. Like, AIs will always give you like bug eyes. It's something that Coca says in the comments too, about the creative people using AI.
Do
They also don't know how to make noodles.
Yep. Coca says AI in hands of creative people is an improvement. AI in the hands of lazy
Jerks.
jerks, it's beside crappy scary in terms of great shortcuts to take a bite out of an artist's jobs. Oh, and he also asks, Midnight, how is the search of your booty Latina going?
The creative jerks I'm sorry, lazy jerks will never, you'll never like their content. It's never going to sell. They won't know what to do with AI. So I'm not worried about them. And the search for the Latina is about as good as the search for the Asian.
Like a tamale.
No, Midnight, why don't you just get yourself a Filipino mail order bride? It's the best of both worlds.
Thinking about it.
Filipinos are pretty fucking hot in my experience. Just say.
Thinking about it.
Let's see. The criticism against AI art was summed up nicely. It's mostly artwork from living artists lifted from their sites and fed against their consent so that the AI so they can make a profit out of it. That Pat Mills supports that not even a week after they stole Kim Jong-gi's work. It's really horrifying. Some of the hostility stems from the fact that Mills is a creator that has always been rightfully well respected for his huge catalog of creations. Does NFT stand for Nemesis, Flesh, and Tharg? Quipped one wag.
What's a wag?
I don't know. Maybe
No, I
it's
thought
like
it
a
was just
British
maybe some
term for
Spanish.
fan. Really disappointing, said one commenter.
People have been saying since it first gained popularity that they were concerned AI art will replace human artists. Never thought the likes of Pat Mills would be the one to take the first step toward that. Very saddening.
Suddenly,
Sad. Disillusioned, disappointed, and a little disgusted with myself for holding high regard for, well, anyone really, said another. As it's online, others were demonstrably more blunt. It's just toxic, immoral, exploitative example of fishing for gullible sycophants, was one comment, along with, is this actually real? Fucking Jesus. What are the reputations for if not for pissing all over? Asked one online former admirer, whilst another succinctly noted, here's hoping he can use AI to draw up that sequential art for his next comic. Let him have all the creative input. See where that gets him. Yuck, yuck. All the above comments were on Facebook, so it's interesting that the debate on Twitter leans way more toward the NFT side of things, with Mills defending the hill that he might have chosen to die
fucking
on.
high hill to die on. That's a fucking AI right there. That's a fucking
Mhm.
AI.
That said, there's a few people standing by him, such as this person. Well, good luck to you. I suspect even your detractors would agree that it'd be nice to see you get some money and resources for creation rather than comics establishment. And if NFTs are the way to do it, well, so be it. It's no secret that creators like Mills have been shortchanged over the years, and his voice has been the loudest when railing against what he and many others see as an injustice. He is not alone, as many others were in the same boat thanks to the way the UK comics industry works, and still does. Somehow I can't see John Wagner doing this, though.
No, because he's dead.
There are Oh. There are many more comments that I have found online, and this was just through Mill's own pages and two others who shared or commented about his post. Naturally, you can and should make your own mind up, even if you care, but it's certainly an interesting debate whichever side you're on.
These people don't give a shit about the green footprint of NFTs. That's just a phrase that they heard that they think allows them to knock back NFTs, and they don't like NFTs because someone they don't like is using them. I'm largely neutral on NFTs. I don't fucking I've thought about doing some episodes of Midnight Chrome as NFTs because I think that would be interesting, but I don't give a fuck.
I don't fully understand the whole NFT thing. I don't.
Neither do I.
I only know that they rose to prominence after an old Transformers artist called Jose Delbo began drawing them in his apartment during the lockdowns in Florida, back when Florida still locked down, and he got filthy rich, and
Nice.
Marvel got he got like $1 million in like just one summer.
Good for him.
And yeah, because he was Jose Delbo, he was really famous. He was like in his 80s. He had nothing better to do, so he just grabbed like his nephew's graphics tablet and began drawing stuff, Transformers among them, and he sold them online as NFTs, and he got filthy rich. And Marvel got pissy. Marvel and I think Disney because I don't know, or maybe IDW because they still have like the rights to some cut of the benefits because they still had the rights to Transformers, so that iteration of the characters that he drew because they were from Marvel Comics. So what I know is that Marvel and DC and the big establishment mega corporations hate NFTs because they allow artists to get rich and the corporations don't see shit. So the only thing that I know is that corporations hate them and therefore NPCs must hate them as well.
So NFTs are a workaround for copyright.
Mm-hmm.
So hang on. Does copyright extend to NFTs at all?
I don't fucking know. As I said, I don't understand them.
I mean, it's still pretty new. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
eventually we might
Yeah,
see it.
that's
But
probably you probably are gonna see like new laws emerge around this whole thing.
The one who knows is Dr. Naple because he has made a shit ton of money with them.
Yep, And
Good luck enforcing any copyright law on that. I have a little twinge in my spidey sense when it comes to technology developing. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot. But I have this feeling that says good luck enforcing copyright on NFTs.
it's almost as if technology is creating like extreme freedom, like a more libertarian environment for artists and creators, and the
And
establishment fucking hates that.
I'm not against copyright law.
No, I get it,
I'm
but
not
the
against
the
IP
thing is that
protection.
the thing is that in my opinion, and that's where the whole carbon or green energy footprint bullshit comes in. I think that the problem with NFTs is that it's more about the little guys making money for themselves and settling stuff among themselves than allowing the corporations as middlemen to get their cat.
Mm-hmm. Which also brings in the whole Bitcoin and cryptocurrency thing too. This isn't basically NFTs like a result of the whole cryptocurrency boom during the
Yeah, because
pandemic.
the, I I'm an old man and I don't understand this whole modern thing that you people are talking about. But yeah, it's apparently they don't really exist. They only exist in the digital plane in cyberspace, if you will, but they are so rare and there's just like a limited number of them that it makes them valuable. So it's about rarity, and
They
that's how NFTs work.
they somehow exist uniquely on the blockchain, and
Yeah, you can copy them even though they're digital. That's the whole thing.
because it's like markered. That's the term that I would use to describe it. They're markered, they're hashed, or something.
Yeah.
I guess you could say they have like a watermark, but it's not even that.
Mm-hmm. Heck, even I hate to out myself as a Reddit user, but I have a Reddit account and they did a little thing of NFTs. And I got one of their NFTs.
Did you really? Wait,
I
you have
know.
you have a Reddit NFT?
Yeah,
That's funny.
I know. It's pathetic, it's funny, but it was free and I was like, I'm not gonna turn down a free thing.
Well, it's funny and pathetic, but describe pretty much everything that is going on in 2020. So don't feel too bad about yourself.
Well, anyways, hey Canales, didn't you want to tell Midnight about something you saw?
Oh yeah, I was waiting for Midnight to join us because I saw the Hellraiser remake.
I just bought Scarlet Gospels.
Hmm. I listened to the audiobook.
I was about to read it a few months ago, and I just didn't get around to it. So, like a couple of weeks ago, I bought it. I've read the first couple of chapters, and I have to say, did you read it at all?
I tapped out at probably at the third of it, like 2/3 of it.
Like, I love Hellraiser. It's how I feel about Clive Barker. We don't have to get into this.
Mhm.
The opening scene in Scarlet Gospels, which is supposed to be like the canon novel sequel to Hellraiser, the first movie.
Yep.
The opening scene is a bunch of geriatric cultists getting necro raped by Pinhead.
Mhm.
And I was underwhelmed because I thought it showed a lack of restraint to go right into that in the opening.
I think Clive Barker has become the Tim Burton of horror, as in everybody expects him to do this shtick. Just do the thing, Clive. Okay.
Ooh, it's so dirty and painful.
Mhm. Okay, here are the hooks. Okay, here's the gay sex.
So dirty and painful. Woo!
Like he's describing an old lady getting raw doggy while the two of them get torn apart by hooks. And look, like there's room for that. I mean, that is part of what I want. I'm gonna be honest, that is part of what I want from a fucking Hellraiser novel. But it's like you blew a nut right at the open.
Yeah.
Actually,
Go in.
I would argue that my favorite Clive Barker stories don't have all that much gore, like the Jeffery and Jack. That the
Yeah.
goriest thing is like a cat exploding magically. That's pretty much it. It's what I like about Clive Barker is like how imaginative he is, like how original. Because the story about Hellraiser is that here's this box that offers you the ultimate sensorial experience, which may or may not entail extreme mutilation, as we later find out. But it's about the box is the MacGuffin, and the characters fight over the box, and the
Yeah.
creatures that the box summons are like basically like a
Yeah.
third party, like a neutral part. Like they're not even that important to the story. Like in the original movie, they're in it like for like 10 minutes total of like almost 100. Like they're like in like 1/10 of the running time. It's about the characters fighting over the box, and that's what I found interesting. Like it's a mechanical device that somehow opens a portal to another dimension. I never thought it was hell until the second movie. It was just another dimension, I thought that was really original and creative. The hooks and the blood and all that's just secondary. It's just like the ideas that Clive Barker has.
It's imaginative, mythical, uh terror with a sense of humor. There's like
Hmm.
those two things are what you want from Clive Barker. I don't know. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read through it. But I was thinking about it. I was like, would I write this? And I would not. Like, I'm not saying that scene would not be in the novel. It wouldn't open. So I cut you off. How did you feel about the new Hellraiser?
Yeah, I didn't really like it. I
I'm
thought,
sorry to hear that.
yeah, I thought it because it was directed by the guy who directed The Ritual. You guys seen that movie?
Is it what is it?
No.
Doug something?
Dave Bruckner.
I think I saw
think
an
it's
interview
British.
with him. I think I saw
Uh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I wasn't going anywhere.
Oh, well, I said he directed The Ritual, which is a pretty good movie, and also a movie called The Night House, which was based on a Hellraiser pitch that he had that got rejected. So he recycled it into like an independent movie, and it's actually pretty okay. But this movie is like for every good idea that it has, and it has a couple, it has like 10 that suck. Like, well, for starters, the Cenobites are the villains of the story from the get go. It's not, as I said, like it's not about like interested parties fighting over this box that opens portal to a dimension of ultimate experience. It's like about, yeah, this box summons things that want to kill you, and they want to fuck with you just because, which is something that I hate about the later installments of the Cenobites. Like you open the box and they appear and they turn you to pieces. Yeah, that's not what the box does. Like people open the box because they expect the ultimate experience. Like in the original novel and the Hellbound Heart, the Cenobites like rape, torture, mutilate, give you a blowjob, like all at the same time. So that's like the ultimate experience. Like there's nothing else over that. That in this they like generic monsters. There's a scene in which they literally fucking chase teenagers through the woods. Like
What like they're Jason Voorhees.
they're like fucking Jason Borges now. They like leather clad Jason Borges chasing teenagers. And
That's stupid.
yeah, that is fucking stupid. That's actually what Clive Barker did not want to do, because Clive Barker has stated several times that he empathizes with the monsters and that he likes his monsters to be articulate and like to be able to state what they want. They like them to have an insight.
Cenobites are purpose-driven villains.
I wouldn't even say like they're villains only from the point of view of the character, but they probably are just doing their job.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're purpose driven, right? Like they're not all purpose villains. They're not excuse me, they're not there to kill everyone at camp. They're there to collect the corrupted. So you've got some it's just the constant. It's the constant in Hollywood. Apparently everyone in show business, like apparently no one in show business understands their IPs anymore.
Yeah,
Which
there's something that Sargon
infuriates me.
said about that when after he watched Prey, the new Predator movie, which I also hated. Like you don't really understand the core of what you are dealing with. You only understand like the superficial
Yeah. It's well,
things.
that's
Like
the Broadway. I say this, I talk about this all the time. It's Broadway has taken over everything. I mean, do I have to explain Broadway to you guys? You guys know Broadway, you know, show
Yeah.
tunes.
yeah,
Right.
Mhm.
I've seen enough movies about Broadway to get up.
I fucking hate Broadway. I hate Broadway. I love theater. I love theater. I love show business. I hate Broadway so much because it's so superficial and it's so like really just copying each other over and over and over ad nauseum.
Mhm.
What's they have a Broadway because what happens is Broadway's thing is you don't do new material. Like 90% or more of what's on Broadway is 100-year-old shit. You know, like how many years has Julie Taymor's Lion King been on Broadway? Is it still there? Who knows? Are they
Like
still
over
doing the
20 at least.
Are they still doing the Phantom of the Opera? Like there's,
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yes.
sure I saw a production of Kiss Me Kate up on Broadway the last time I was there. Like it's all they're still doing To Kill a Mockingbird. Great play, but like, you know, they're doing the same shit over and over and over again. So what they do is in order to make their production stand out, one of the tricks that they do is they sew in little pop culture references. They take little liberties where they can. So they'll sew in a quick, oh, like a lightsaber, woo, zing, hey, you know, like
And now the thing.
yeah, like remember this, like they'll throw it in there, and like there's no they don't care about the substance of the thing. They're just trying to grab something to tie to their rehashed bullshit to try and make it stand out when it shouldn't anyway. And that's kind of what has happened to everyone in show business, like everyone. And it's one of the reasons I had to leave, because it got to a point where I was like, that there's no changing this.
Yeah, it's
There's no
ironic how the creators have become the least creative people on earth. They like Hellraiser, for example, used to be about stuff. Hellraiser used to be about like uh, addiction and sexuality and stuff. And Hellraiser is now about Hellraiser. It's about the movies. It's what would you expect from Hellraiser? Well, I expect
remember
boxes.
Pinhead? Oh,
Yeah.
with the sexy, scary leather. Oh, hey, remember that? Oh, that's titillating. Woo!
Remember the hooks? Oh, remember the skinning? These people who lose their skin. It's about the rest. Like Predator is about Predator. Predator is no longer a subversion, for example, because Predator always was a subversion of like the action genre, like the macho genre. It was basically pitched as Rambo versus Alien. Predator is now about Predator. It's about this creature from space that kills people, and some people are harder to kill, and some of that people like actually kill the thing. End of
They're
story. 90
basically
minutes.
space hunters.
Yeah, this space
Oh,
hunters,
look,
but
freaky flesh dreads, crab cunt mouth. Woo! Hey, shoot it with the laser. Whoa!
yeah, it's like you remember the first movie that it actually had characters, like how like the relationship between like Dylan and Dutch, and how Dylan was like the black sheep of the team, and he was always trying to like earn the respect of the other team, but the rest of the team wouldn't give a fuck about him. Like I like that dynamic. It's like a war movie. It's a war movie that gets subverted by the sudden insertion of an alien into the plot.
It's because
The
he was
first-
black.
What? Sorry?
It's because Dylan was black.
Probably. Probably. Fuck
I mean,
yourself.
and it was like the most diverse. Like you had like an Indian guy, you had like
Mm.
2 black guys,
Be right back.
some skinny nerd guy,
And the second
and-
movie was
and
a
Arnold
subversion.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Dude, the second movie was even more diverse. Like it had what's his name, Danny Glover as the
Yep.
lead.
Hmm.
Ruben Blades was a great guy. It's actually pretty based. He's like the conservative presidential candidate in, like, I don't know where he's from, like Salvador or something like that. I don't know. And yeah, and the second one is like a subversion of the tough cop subgenre of Dirty Harry and all those Steven Seagal movies. It's like a tough cop movie that gets subverted. Prey is just okay. So the predator kills things. So where can he kills things now? Well, I don't know, like the Indians, yeah, because we want it to be diverse. It's like it's pointless. There's again, it's like AI. It's got no soul. It's done just by comedy.
You know what would have been more better is if at the end of Prey the the predator just kills the Indian girl like outright and then like brings her home as like a trophy and like maybe mounts her head on a wall or something, or her skull. Kind of like how people, well, I come from a hunting family, like how people will hunt the specific animal and then kill it and then they like display its
Well,
head.
that's actually what predators do.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was expecting him to, like, I don't know, like open his mandibles and say "Hail patriarchy" or something like that. You know that this chick is not gonna die because he's he's brown and a woman, so he has plot armor. But I was talking about Hellraiser, and the new Hellraiser movie is guilty of that. Like, people are here to see Cenobites tearing people apart with hooks, and that's what the movie's about. Like, there's no, like, there's like an attempt of making it about something because the new box is, I guess, stated to be addictive. Like, the mechanic is that you open the box and a blade springs out of it and it cuts you, and somehow that poisons you or intoxicates you or whatever, and then the Cenobites come and do what Cenobites do, and that opens a lot of like interesting possibilities. Like, you may be hallucinating the Cenobites, like you may be, the box may be holding like
This is
some
all
kind of,
retarded.
Like it's
yeah,
kind of
I
like a
know.
little stinger.
I don't like it. That's Kronos. That's
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fucking
that's
Kronos.
absolute. Yes, dude, that's absolute. I thought about that myself. Like, it's Kronos. Like, people are fighting over this box that stings you with like a tiny blade, does things
Yeah,
to
I
you.
was I was saying that it was, maybe it's like a little stinger.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want that in that story. It exists. It's a great movie by Guillermo del Toro called Kronos. Go, if you want
Yes.
that, go watch Kronos. The box, it doesn't even corrupt you. The box doesn't actually do anything to you, and honestly, neither do the Cenobites. You are corrupted.
Hmm.
You seek out the box.
Hence,
You, if
hence
you are
why,
corrupted
hence why
enough.
Frank is the actual villain of the story, not the
Yep.
Cenobites.
Yep.
And in the
Correct.
book, in the movie, like, the Cenobites are like promoted to actual villains at the end because they renege or whatever the fuck you say in English of their deal with Kirsty. But in the novel, they actually stick to their word, and they tell Kirsty, if you bring us Frank to if you bring Frank to us, we'll just leave you alone. And that's what happens in the novel. Like, the actual bad guy is Frank because he's an animal. He's driven by his addiction and his hunger for sex and stimulation and shit. He's the bad guy.
I mean, Frank is essentially Hunter Biden.
Yes.
Like, he's he's a not stupid Hunter Biden.
Yep.
And that's a great villain, by the way. Fantastic fucking
Mhm.
villain.
Mhm.
They just they can't differentiate between IPs. It's everything has to be everything.
Mhm.
Which is what is that? Milton's Paradise Lost. Entropy is everything. The center cannot hold. Or is it the center cannot hold? Entropy is everything. Things fall apart. Like they're so bereft of creativity that they've lost the respect for boundaries that is necessary for creativity.
Yeah, because they make. I think the perfect example of that is gonna jump to another IP. It's the It remake of 2017. How it's made for Marvel fans.
Yeah.
Because if you like Marvel, you like Stephen King, right? That's how it works. Because you're a fucking nerd. You will read anything.
And if
Hmm.
yep.
So they turned it, which is one of the scariest movies that I can remember from my childhood. They turned it into like a Marvel movie with like funny quips and like pop music from the 80s. It's like
I
Stranger
thought it
Things
was
almost.
I thought it was but I
Yeah.
didn't see the point. Like the original, like the remakes have to stop, man.
Yeah.
We
They're
need to, I want to be out of this era of remakes. I want to be in an era where remakes are fucking rare. Like
I
one
want remakes. I want remakes for movies that actually could use a remake that maybe failed the first time. Like I think the perfect example would be the one, at least the one, which is about the multiverse, which is a thing that people know about nowadays.
Hmm.
I thought it was
how,
like what?
how many remakes do you think have been made, like released this year?
All of them?
Uh, a lot.
Like more
I
than
don't know.
5? Like major studio remakes. Like, do you think it's more than 5?
Actually, I don't think there've been all that many remakes lately. It's more about like all like soft reboots, more like Star Wars and all that shit, right?
I'll include that into remake. Like
Okay.
soft reboot, remake,
Yeah, okay,
no
like yeah,
more.
like let's just call it like exploitation of all IPs. Yeah, I don't know, man, too many.
It's a necro bump.
Hmm.
It's a cinematic necro bump, yo. And the necro bumping has got to stop. I was gonna say like I want to see no more than one a year, but I might want less than that. I might want one every 5 years.
I think we can count the remakes that actually work with one hand, like it's The Thing, The Fly.
What's
Actually,
I don't think the Thing remake wasn't exactly a remake. It was more like a
yeah,
prequel.
it's actually a more faithful adaptation of the original novel because when they first adapted it in the 1950s, they couldn't possibly replicate what was written on the page. So with like
Okay.
1980s technology, they could do the whole
Jez
Lovecraftian
means the
shipless.
one the like sequel.
Yeah, I was talking about like the prequel
Oh,
Prequel slash sequel that they made.
where it's taking place at the Norwegian station.
yeah, talk about pointless. Talk about pointless.
Yeah.
If there was something to tell about what happened in the Norwegian Cap, Carpenter would have told you. That's the whole point. It's cool because you don't know what happened. It's cool because it's unknown. That's the whole point. If you explain what happened, it stops being scary. Fucking idiots.
Mm.
I actually quite like the 1990 remake of the Night of the Living Dead by Tom Savini.
Hmm.
I think it's a very good movie.
All right. Well, I guess it's getting that time where it's time to go.
Yeah, I'm an old man and I need my beauty sleep.
Oh, I wanted to show you that one thing after the show.
You can show me all the things you want.
No.
Mhm.
Ah.
Cue midnight puking in a bucket or the toilet. All right. Anyways, what's any got any plans?
I'll just draw, and that's it. I guess spend my entire day drawing, and then I go to the gym and insult my trainees.
What about you, Omega?
I need to finish all the commissions that I have accumulated and some
Well,
3D models that I have in the works.
well, I picked up a book about how to make like crochet bears, so I might
Oh,
try my hand at one of those.
that's legit adorable. Come on.
All right, thus ends another episode of Awful Goodness. I'm Condor Jez, and these are Omega, Canales, and the exciting comeback of our God King Midnight.
Don't call it a comeback.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Adios.
What a motherfuckers.